Depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide. Anxiety disorders being the most common mental disorder worldwide. 75% of mental illnesses remain untreated, and 1 million people worldwide taking their lives each year. I googled this morning, and it made me so sad to find out how many people take their lives each year. And it makes me so sad because I would have wanted to be there for each and every one of those people to say, you are not alone. You are stronger than you think. You are not the only one that is going through a tough situation. You have loved ones around you that need you more than you could imagine, and that are left suffering more than you will ever be able to know. And I couldn't tell those people that, but I'm telling you guys, whoever's watching this channel, you don't have to do this alone. You are not alone. You will be okay. Reach out, get the help that you need, but please don't give up on your life. Please don't choose that, and stay as strong as you could, because you are stronger than you know. Believe me. Hi, you guys, and welcome back. I truly hope you guys take a couple minutes out of your guys' day to listen to my story and hear what I've had to go through when dealing with anxiety and depression. So my story begins when I am 12 years old and I am in 7th grade. I could not get so much in detail of what happened during my junior high years. It is a very difficult topic to speak about when referring to those 2 years. All I can say when it comes to that is that as a child, that is the hardest thing that I went through, and it's something that I still think about sometimes, and I just really applaud myself because I can't believe how strong I was. Again, I don't want to go into detail when it comes to my junior high year. It's something that is extremely difficult for me to talk about. Maybe further on, I will get there, but as of right now, I can't do that yet. So I will start with my freshman year, and my freshman year actually went pretty well. My sophomore year, I began to have a lot of anxiety, so we did think that the best option for me was to finish school at home. My junior year, I did finish in school. I did go back to school, and there was a lot of difficult days where I did have a lot of panic attacks. I remember sometimes I would go to the restroom and try to calm down there. It was really hard, to be in school and to have all these emotions that come with having anxiety and all this stress. But luckily, with the support of my wonderful family and my parents, and honestly my hard work, I was able to finish high school and I graduated. After high school is when my anxiety just completely went up and down to my highest point in life, to my absolute lowest point in life. From the time that I caught sick up until I graduated high school, I was not on medicine. They wanted me to be on medicine, and I tried it for maybe a couple days, and I realized that I was not going to take medicine. That was a personal choice. I felt like the little times that I tried any type of medicine, it would just, as I would say, dumb me out. And I didn't want to feel like I wasn't in control. I didn't want to feel like I had to depend on these medicines that just have you feeling like you're there, but you're really not there. So I was not taking any type of medication at the time. After high school, I got pregnant. And My pregnancy was not the easiest, to say the least. The beginning of my pregnancy, almost to halfway, over a little bit of going over half, I was very sick. I would lay in my bed, and I would be in my room, and I couldn't leave. When I mean I couldn't leave, I mean I physically couldn't even leave the room to the kitchen or the living room without having these terrible panic attacks, you guys, like terrible. I couldn't go outside. It was getting really bad. I remember I cried so much during that time. I caught so bad that even as I was laying there, I was still having horrible panic attacks to the point where I couldn't even speak anymore. I was just holding somebody's hand and crying and trying to talk to them through signs because I my anxiety was so bad that I was barely able to say words during, especially during the evenings. It just got so much worse. It was really difficult to go through more than half my pregnancy feeling the way that I was feeling. It was supposed to be this joyful, beautiful time. Towards the end of my pregnancy, though, I did get a lot better, and I started to enjoy my pregnancy. I had my baby girl, and I was okay for a while, for a couple weeks, and then I just hit postpartum depression. Now, I don't know if you guys know a lot about postpartum depression, but let me tell you, it is not fun, especially being a new mother and wanting to have that, bonding time with your daughter. The last thing you want is to be going through this depression and these terrible emotions that you are feeling. Her father ended up losing two jobs. One while I was pregnant because I became so sick that he had to stay home a lot of the time and take care of me. And the second time was after I had my baby because he had to make sure that I was okay and that I was well enough to take care of my baby, which was, super, super hard for me as a mom to feel like I needed to have somebody there during that time because of all the emotions and everything that I was feeling and going through at the moment. I eventually got through that and I started to enjoy my baby girl and life was okay for a while. Let me just say before continuing the story that when I say life was okay, it doesn't necessarily mean I didn't have anxiety anymore. Anxiety has been a part of my life since I was 12. I'm lucky and blessed enough to get what I call these breaks in between where I do begin to do a lot better. And all those emotions and all those thoughts that are racing through my head and all those what ifs and all those phobias and what if and all those something's gonna happen and all that terrible stuff tends to go from a high to a very low where I'm able to enjoy life a little bit better. And that's what I mean when I say that I started to get a little bit better. When my daughter was around 6 years old, I got really sick, and my anxiety and my depression were just terrible. I couldn't leave my home again. I couldn't leave Riverdale. I literally couldn't leave out of the little town that I live in. If I tried, I would have these nervous breakdowns. I would have these terrible panic attacks. An ambulance was in my house every other day, you guys. I was laying on a couch and not moving. It would turn like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's like my mind was already programmed to just cry and cry and feel like I was dying, because that's what it is when you have anxiety. You think you're having a heart attack, you think you're dying, you think you're gonna pass out, you think you're gonna go crazy, you think that's it. And that was my everyday life for about a year. The most difficult part about that was my daughter. I remember she would hold my hand and she would tell me that everything was going to be okay. No matter how many times I got sick, she would try to always be there for me, and I would try my best to be my strongest there. I would tell her dad to take her away and do, different things with her because I didn't want her to see me that way. But, oh my gosh, she is the strongest little girl I know. And to go through the things I went through, and for her to see me, sometimes like that, it's like the most difficult pain I think about, because I wanted to be there and be so healthy for her, and I just couldn't be that person yet. When I did feel well enough, I would take her outside to play for hours, you guys, for hours. And that was our Disneyland, to just see her smile and laugh. And even if it was just being outside, that meant the whole world to me, to be well enough to get up and play with her and spend time with her. And I know that, she enjoyed it just as much. I hated the fact that I couldn't be at some of her t-ball games, that I couldn't help in her classroom because she was so used to me always doing that. It was a really difficult time for both of us, and especially, for me, because I tried my hardest to be that healthy person. But when you have anxiety, you have these thoughts that are running through your mind constantly, that you can't take a break from them. You can't rest. You're always thinking about what if this happens, what if this happens, what if that happens. And then you start hyperventilating, and then you think you literally can't breathe, and you feel everything tightening, and you feel like the whole world is crumbling down, and you feel like there's nothing you can do, and there's nothing that you are in control about. That is an anxiety attack, and that's just half of what I was feeling. I began to get better after a while, where I was able to go out again, and life was getting a little bit back to the norm. And I like the norm, you guys. That's when I felt the best version of myself. I was like that for a couple of years, just working hard on my anxiety, on my depression, on the phobias. It's always been a struggle for me to leave more than 20 minutes from my home. So I had been working on that for the last 2 years. Until today, I'm still working on that. I could go to Lemoore and Hanford, and in the beginning, it was just like 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and I've been working up an hour. And when my mind and my anxiety and all these emotions start acting up, I'll just be like, we have to leave, you guys. I don't care what we're doing. I don't care where we're at. We have to leave. It could be in the middle of the ride there. It could be at a store. And to live like that was a way. That was a way of living that I did not want for myself. So in between, the last time I had gotten sick and I was doing better, that was what I was working on, so that I could stay out longer, so that I could go out in the car longer. And that's what I was doing. When I got sick again, it was the hardest time of it all. Like the hardest. It was, I had never got sick like that. I had lost over 50 pounds. People were asking me if I was sick. People were asking me if I was dying. People were asking me if I was on drugs. It was so hard for me to eat. My depression was so bad. I moved in with my mom, my parents, for a little while, and they helped me for a while with my daughter, because I didn't want her to see me in that state. I wanted her to have distractions and make it as normal as I could for her. But it was just the hardest time of my life, you guys. It got so hard. And I remember one time my daughter needed to do a project, and we went to the library, and I was like there for a minute, and I was like, we have to go now. I'm sorry, mamas. It was always sorries, and that's what I hated the most, that I always had to apologize. I was tired of apologizing to her, because I knew it wasn't fair to her. I have worked really hard, but I still go through those nights where I can't sleep, you guys, and it takes me hours to fall asleep. I still go through those days where I oversleep because I can't stay awake because of so much anxiety and so much that I'm going through, or because my medicines, mess with me a little bit sometimes, and my sleep schedule. I check on my daughter 100 times a day because I need to make sure she's okay. Every single day that I get in my car is, will I be able to make it? Am I going to come back? And when I get to a certain location, it's still, am I going to be able to get through this? Am I going to be here for 30 minutes, 5 minutes, or an hour? And my mind is, we're always going. It's, it's something that I work on every day. And like I said, some days are better than others. Some days I did say I was gonna share something personal with you guys, and so introducing my eyebrows. Part of my anxiety, I do pick at my eyebrows a lot, and I cannot believe I'm even sharing that with you guys. It is probably the hardest thing to do and to be so open with you guys, but it is something that I do and something that I'm working really hard on. And so when I mentioned in the last video about my eyebrows, that's what I meant. So if you guys see these eyebrows for a while, you guys know why. And I know I could just fill them in, but let me tell you guys why I don't. One, I don't know how. And two, they're just eyebrows. They'll grow back, right? So that was something really, really personal that I wanted to share with you guys. I also blink a lot, and you'll see in my videos, and a lot of people ask me, why do you do this, why do you do that? And it's just tics, and it's okay. I mean, I get it. People are just curious, I guess, so it's okay. I really don't mind sharing that with you guys. I do blink a lot, and I have a lot of tics, and I also do a lot of movements with my body that you'll see maybe sometimes. I really do try to control it in my videos, and I shouldn't. Not that I'm ashamed or embarrassed. I've learned to be very open about my anxiety and what I go through, but I still try to not do it as much. But if you guys do see it, it's just I just wanted to let you guys know that that's just part of my anxiety and what I have. Please, you guys, be nice to one another. You never know what somebody is going through. Anxiety, depression, especially is something that you can't see just by looking at somebody. I could take a selfie, you guys, and 5 minutes before or 5 minutes later, I could have had a nervous breakdown. I could have been on my bed crying, because I've done that. I've taken a picture, uploaded it, and a second later, boom, my anxiety is off the roof, and I'm laying down and I'm crying in bed, and my boyfriend is holding my hand and hugging me. And you guys, my boyfriend, he is amazing. He is a person who has to come home back with me if I feel like I can't. The person who goes and comes, and he doesn't complain how many times it takes for me to get somewhere. He's a person who, sees me cry. I also have to give the hugest shout out, you guys, to my parents who have been through so much with me. They've seen me cry, and they've cried so much with me, and they still do. My God, they're wonderful. To my sisters who also go and come back with me, who might take me to a concert even though they know I might not make it, or we see a performance, we run out, we come back, we leave, I cry, they hug me. True story. That happened our last one. Girls are freaking amazing. Shout out to my brothers who are also my rock, my family. And lastly, to my daughter, to the little girl that continues to be so strong regardless of what she's seen me go through. I love you, mamas. You are so amazing. I am so proud of you. And I will continue to say this in each and every one of my videos. If you or anybody that you know is going through any type of situation where you need help, please do not hesitate to reach out to somebody, anybody. Maybe a coworker, a friend, a parent, your significant other, anybody who you might trust and feel safe talking to. But please know that you do not have to do this alone, and that your life matters more than you know. There are so many types of treatments, you guys, available nowadays, from medication to therapy to meditation. I mean, simple things as exercising helps, eating healthy. There's just so many things. Look it up, do your research, find what might work for you.